have a question from our audience tonight. So Adam asked earlier if shame ever fills a positive function, which I think is a really interesting question, and it personally reminded me of what Dirty Lola started with, of associating shame with what we think of as being inappropriate versus appropriate.
I think shame can help you grow. I mean, it's kind of like a marker, right? It's, I tell the story all the time about when I started out in kink, and my first dom required me to send photos, and the first picture, like nude photos, and the first picture I ever sent, like I was in tears. It took me forever to like take it. And he's like, "Why are you crying?" And I'm like, "Oh, like you want to see this?" And he's like, "I wouldn't ask you if I didn't want to see it." And like the forcing me to do it and to look at it. But by the end of our time together, I was able to send photos, and I could see myself as beautiful without having any shame. So it was almost like this marker of growth of this is where I was and here's where I am. So I think that's a thing. I think also it can be one of those things that are like, maybe this is a thing I need to work on. You know, when that stuff bubbles up, because I think even really open people have our shame moments. I can't think of, I'm like, what was the last thing I was ashamed of? It's been a long time. But when it does bubble up, that like it will be a thing. I think I've had some shame about submission, and if that makes me a bad feminist, and if that makes me not as much of a feminist as I thought I was and am. But that just meant like, oh, I just need to do some work for me. Like that's what those things, it triggers this. I'm going to go read some books and read some articles and parse it through for myself. So I think it can be healthy in that way if you use it as a tool to dig in and make it better.